This is Dan of Vagabond Awake.
𝐿 from Hobo Venture.
And we're in 𝐕𝐚𝐠𝐾𝐃 in the Philippines, and we're on a large levee next to the ocean. And that is Cebu behind us.
And I just got a haircut.
So today we thought we'd talk about, give you some safety tips about how to travel safely. But first I'd like to say that humans have this sort of innate belief that it's safe where they live, but it's dangerous everywhere else. And I haven't really found that to be the case. I've found that the world is a safe place. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's because that they don't know about the language, they don't know about the place, so they always think dangerous. Like, I remember when my first time to travel to Colombia, I also worried. I googled, is Colombia safe?
Yeah.
But right now, I don't Google that anymore.
No. Yeah, so we do Google to find out like what area to stay, and you know, and we watch the photos to see the areas we like, and we pick to stay in an area we like, and then we investigate around. So we do still Google, but not so much because we think that where we are is safe and somewhere else is dangerous. Although you don't want to go to a war zone, you don't want to go to a place where there's trouble brewing, and that's often in the news. So you don't even have to Google that; just turn on your TV. But
so what is the tips to avoid people?
All right.
Yeah.
So in general, I don't think this applies anywhere in the world. I don't wear jewelry, no expensive watches.
I have jewelry, but it's very cheap. So whatever they get, they get.
Yeah, no brands, no fancy clothes. You want to dress moderately. You don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself. But it's based on where you are in the world, if you think about it. Like if you're in Monaco, dress however the hell you want, as nice as you want, wear all the jewelry you want. But you know, most places you show up and be moderate and watch what the locals are doing and sort of mimic them, so you don't stand out so much. So that's my thoughts on dress.
On jewelry and the dress.
Jewelry and dress, yeah. So some other tips. In general, I carry less cash at night, just what I'm going to need for that evening. I leave my passport and my credit cards and whatnot in the hotel room or in the safe or whatever. And in general, I use cash. I don't like to use my credit card when I make purchases, because if I hand my credit card to someone, there's a possibility that they'll write the number down and all that. So I go to the ATM, get cash out, and I pay cash for everything.
Yes.
Another big tip that's always worked for me is try not to get isolated. Don't walk down an isolated street. Stay on the busier streets until you get to know a place. What?
You did a few times.
Of course, I break all the rules.
Yeah.
Did you want to tell a story on me, or?
I just warned you many times, but it's okay.
Okay. The other thing is you have to be aware of who's around you.
Yes.
At all times. And try to figure out, are they watching you? Why are they watching you? Like, are they casing you? What's their motivation? And I know it's a little bit hard to determine what people are thinking, but in general, if people are just going about their life, they're fine. But if they start to pay a lot of attention to you, they may just be curious about you, or they may be casing you. So you want to watch that. Who's watching you? If you feel like you're walking down the street and someone's beginning to follow you, this happened to me in Brazil. I was walking down the street and I noticed someone was casing me, so I turned one street up more towards a busier street. I wasn't in isolation, but there weren't many people around, so I turned one street and I noticed that he turned and followed me. Now it could just be coincidence, but he was bigger than me, and I didn't know if he had a weapon or what, so I wasn't going to fool around. So I just sprinted to the nearest busy street. Better safe than sorry. And in fact, when he saw me start running, he turned around. So he may have been casing me. No back pockets. You might as well sew them shut. You don't want to have back pockets because pickpockets can get money out of your back pocket easiest.
Yeah.
The level that you worry about your front pockets or other items on you is going to depend on the country, and so it's okay to read a little bit. Like when we were in Morocco, we did a little reading about what the scam tricks are, and one of them was they're able to.
We faced some of the scam street.
Yeah, we faced some scams, but so if you hear about places where scams are going on, read what they are and try to protect yourself. In fact, we have a video on Morocco. If you're going to go there, I'll put a link to it below. Thoughts?
It's using Uber when you're in a certain country, but
Yeah.
it's not all the country have Uber or Grab car.
Not all do, but she's right. If you think about what it means is the driver, Uber or Grab or some international organization knows who that driver is. Your card is charged, it's credited to that person, and if you disappeared or something, they know who it is. Your card was last used, your online card was last used riding this Uber, and now you're gone. So use Uber and Grab. Keep your copies of your important documents in the cloud in case they're stolen. It's easier to go to the embassy and get them replaced, like a passport, that kind of thing. You want to keep copies in the cloud, like on and that you can get to through email or any computer.
There's your thing more.
Use a trusted VPN, virtual private network, for banking. Anytime you're going to log on to your bank from anywhere in the world, really, even your home, and that would apply to public Wi-Fi's especially. I don't use public Wi-Fi's.
Yeah. Public Wi-Fi, never do any online transaction with a public Wi-Fi.
Right. And I don't recommend them at all, honestly. We usually get a SIM card in every country, and we get data on it, and I'll use my SIM card as a router, or my phone, my Android is my router, and I'll use the VPN if I'm banking right over my phone router. But use a trusted VPN. It should be one you're getting from your antivirus provider, or one that research has shown it's trusted. There's a few VPNs out there that apparently are selling data to criminal organizations, so you don't want to use one of those. I always have a backup ATM card and a backup credit card. I usually have 2, 3. I don't carry them with me everywhere. I keep them locked up in the safe or somewhere safe. You never want to have everything on you at once, so if something does happen, you have backup cards somewhere. That applies to both ATM and credit cards. But again, I don't use my credit cards except for online purchases with known companies. If you go out at night, you don't want to get too drunk. You want to stay sober and keep your wits about you.
As long as you have a company also. If you don't have a company, then you have to be very alert on surrounding you.
You mean someone with you?
A company like you and me.
Oh, if someone's with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone with you, if you're not traveling alone, that's fine.
Yeah.
But someone with you for a long time, it's not that someone with you for a few weeks and then you know.
Yeah. And that someone should be someone, like she's saying, you trust. And that someone you shouldn't both be getting drunk if that's the case. Trust your instincts. If you get a weird feeling about somebody or a situation or a street you're on or whatever, don't risk it. Just turn around and seek safety. Stay on the beaten path until you're situational aware. When you first get to a city, you don't quite know what the game is. So the first week or 10 days, you stay in the areas where you feel comfortable, where there's people around you, there's families, children, that kind of thing. Don't go off into isolation. Never give anyone your passport. In some countries, they'll try to take your passport from you and say, oh, we'll make copies of it and give it back to you.
Like a hotel.
Like at hotels.
No, they're not making copy. They want to keep your passport.
Yeah, some want to even keep it. Tell them, no, it's against your country's policy. You have to keep it in your possession at all times. Insist. There's no exceptions. You're going to keep your passport.
Or they can make a copy.
They can make a copy in front of you, but they're not going to walk away with your passport. Passports around the world are worth a lot of money. I've already said this, but cash only at night. Really, it's cash only for me day and night. The only time I use a credit card is online.
And we just use the the right amount that we just bring, like, you know.
Yeah, just bring what you're going to need every day. Don't share much with strangers because you don't really know who they are and why they're gathering that information. You know, even if you have some resources, you're not whatever, a Wall Street investment banker, or you're not a real estate broker or any of that. You're a school teacher. You're a poor retired American, so or whatever, European. Don't toot your own horn. Don't brag. Don't share information with strangers. Tell your bank where you're going. So if your card shows up, in most banks now have you can log on and tell them what countries you'll be in and what dates. You want to do that so when things show up, a charge tries to show up, your bank can quickly resolve that. So in the end, don't get paranoid. Don't think the world's a dangerous place. Let me just finish with that. The world is not a dangerous place. After 65 countries, to me, it's as peaceful or more peaceful than my home country, and that's probably true for you too, unless you're from a very violent country.
It's about your thinking, about your personality, and we think everyone is good, but we also alert the people surrounding us. Like, you have a flat tire last week at this area.
Yeah.
How we got this fixed?
We went into a little neighborhood and we watched all the people around us, and they were just nice little families, and they took care of us for 50 cents. They fixed a flat tire for
It's $1.
$1, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're paying more, like $5, $6.
I was so blown away. You know, in the U.S. you're going to pay
Yeah.
whatever, $20, $30, $50 to fix a flat. This guy fixed our flat for $1, and I wanted to pay him. We paid him $5.
Because this is Asia.
Yeah, but he only wanted $1. If he wanted $5, I would have been like, what? I'll pay you $3. But he offered $1, so it's like, it's sweet. So anyway, the world's a safe place. Go out there and discover it. Just use common sense.
Yeah, just use common sense.
Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're finding any value in this information, could you please like, comment, or subscribe to our channel? That would really help us. We'd appreciate it. If you're enjoying this video, could you please like, comment, or subscribe? That'll help our business grow. To get a copy of these safety tips, just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video. While at that link, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for Vagabond Buddha. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? Okay, now it's time for the legal disclaimer. Thanks for watching our video. Pause the video now to read this important liability disclaimer that limits your rights. You can also find this disclaimer in the description below this YouTube video. Basically, your reliance on the information in our videos is strictly at your own risk. So seek appropriate professional advice before taking any action on our videos.